Instagram.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. So we're now streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Cool, man. Cool. What's
What's
good,
going on,
man?
everybody?
Hi, welcome to the Targeted Podcast. This is Sahid, and that is NL. I like what he did there. NL, what's up, man? How you been,
Good,
man?
man.
How's life
Living
treating
life,
you?
man.
New house and everything.
New house. Had a nice, video call with the family. I'm sure a lot of people are doing that these days, right? Since you don't know everybody's stats with COVID, what you believe and all that stuff or whatever. Can't really just go visit anybody anymore. So we trying to get this thing started where we're doing a family call at least once a month.
Oh, that's good to hear.
See some people, talk to some people. So that was good, man.
Yeah. Cool.
Hey, here's a question for you. When does Thor come out? When does Thor Love and Thunder come
Well,
out? We might
thankfully
have
I'm
to
on the
talk
internet.
about that.
Yeah, thankfully I'm on the internet. It should be soon, actually. Oh shit.
What happened?
My Bluetooth is kind of going a little stupid. So Love and Thunder. Hold on. Love and Thunder. Thor Love and Thunder, July 8th. So soon. Very, very,
July
very
8th.
soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking it was coming out like next week, but I'm looking forward to that one. I keep seeing more previews. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm looking forward to that too. I'm looking at the calendar now, and it's coming out. It actually does come out next week. Time flies.
All right.
All right, cool. Well, welcome to Targeted Podcast, everyone. I'm Sahid, that's NL, otherwise known as Nicholas Lewis. Thank you guys for joining us this week. And I really wanted to get into Miss Marvel and Kenobi, but the Supreme Court came out with some some rulings this week, and we'll hit it up a little bit. I didn't actually do my due diligence and get my all my notes together, so I'll probably wait till next week so I get super nitty gritty, here are my references and X, Y, and Z and blah 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 blah, right? So you guys can kind of see what's going on with there. But at least I want to hit it up first before next week. And by the way, Nicholas, you're coming in a little bit dark. Okay, I can see you again.
It's my browser.
Cameras don't do well with black folks. We gotta adjust our brightness.
That's why Google had Google has the true color thing now, right? We need some help.
Yeah. So, cool. So, as you guys may know, right? This week we talked about this in the Targeted Podcast plenty times before.
Yes, we have.
When the leak came out, right? We're going to talk about it again, and we'll probably hit it up a little bit more next week. Where I'm more. By the way, check out the fresh cut. By the way, Nicholas, I forgot to brag about that fresh cut.
Hey, you see, I've been doing real bad. So.
Yeah, but stay focused. No, but so the Supreme Court came out with a couple of fuck shit rulings this week.
Oh, what it is,
right? Yeah, it is. It's some really shitty rulings, and yeah. Again, next week I'll be way more prepared to kind of just go into the details of it. Right? I actually was talking with a couple people online. We had an interesting conversation in our group chat about this as well, as to kind of where things are and whatnot. And again, we'll talk about it more, but my initial thoughts is just kind of obviously we're not surprised, but just heavily disappointed, right, with kind of what's happening. But at the same time, this right here is a result of 2016, right, where we let a guy who doesn't have any experience at all, right? We had so just full back. Justice I think Scalia passed away or something. A Supreme Court
Yes.
justice passed away, right? And in 2016, Obama picked a Supreme Court justice. Republicans didn't do their job until later
Let me
that
make
year.
sure that
Until
pick didn't go through.
yeah, they didn't vote it or anything, right? Until the election happened, right? And then Trump got involved, right? And this fool who lost the popular vote twice, right? Not once, but twice, right? Got to pick 3 Supreme Court justices, right? And throughout all the years, right, even though Democrats have won the popular vote more times than Republicans have picked more Supreme Court justices than Democrats. Like it's like a very staggering amount. Again, I don't have my references on me. Next week I'll be super kind of very diligent on that as well. So I'm trying to kind of stay just give some like preliminary thoughts. Lastly, it also Republicans had the chance to pick a lot of federal judges too. Like one federal judge in Florida that Trump picked, right, actually stripped what is it, the FDA or no, I think the CDC, right? The hand is up. The CDC. The CDC. Do you have a question, Nicholas? No. So
yes.
Why does Trump suck? Yeah. No, so the CDC as to like pretty much preventing the CDC from allowing them to make laws or to give recommendations or the government to make recommendations to force people to wear masks on planes, right? So the law, the judge that kind of that struck that down was like a 33-year-old judge that was appointed by Trump who worked in the Trump campaign, got to be a federal judge and maybe up for Supreme Court justice in God knows like maybe 20 years or so, who knows. And I think that's kind of where we are, right? Like my heart goes out to all, just pretty much every woman right here because government's trying to, regulate your bodies. We can't regulate people getting vaccines, but we can regulate, whether you can or can have a kid, right? At the same time, we don't offer, our healthcare system isn't great. We don't offer like child care support or anything, right? So it's like, yeah.
It's bad.
It's really fucked up. It's really, really fucked up. And I can go into detail. I can ramble on about this. I kind of don't want to because, again, I don't really have all my notes and everything in place. And I want to do a little bit more, just more diligent research about this. But yeah, I've talked enough about it. What are your thoughts, man?
I'll be honest, man. Like when I saw that headline, I was surprised. I didn't
Really?
think it was going to be overturned. I didn't think they were actually going to do it because if you go back, there are definitely some interviews where they were saying, hey, like it's been a precedent for 50 years. We're not going to overturn something like that. That's been a precedent for so long. Mm-hmm. So when I saw the headline,
they lied under oath.
Yeah.
Well, that part is the judges. Yeah, they lied.
They're still politicians.
Yeah, fair enough.
At that level, I mean, you're really just, but
well, they're lawyers, so they know how to kind of bend the truth where they're not going to get in trouble for it. So
yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, man.
So I was surprised by it, and like you said, I mean, I'm happy to see like all the protests and everything. Like, I don't know if it's going to lead to anything or not, but
that's true.
I mean, I feel like at some point, like if enough of the population speaks up, maybe something will happen. But it also underscores the fact that like how important it is, because basically what that means is the decision means that like the federal government has kind of put everything back into the state's hands now, right? So it's kind of underscores the fact that how important it is to vote at the state level, at your local level. This is why it's important to vote at the local level. You can't just vote for the president and think that everything is going to be everything, right? You can't just do that every 4 years and be like, hey, I cast my vote. Why didn't it work? Or question why it didn't work. This is where now you have to go back. You understand the situation and you've got to put people in place at the local level who have your best interest in mind. Because even if something like that gets overturned, if you're voting for the right people in your state or your local areas or whatever, then you have something to fall back on. Maybe, I mean, you never know, right? But so
yeah.
What tripped me out too is so obviously on one side you have the protests and everything.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, you have this Representative Mary Miller of Illinois. After Roe versus Wade was overturned, she says, "quote It was a historic victory for white life."
she I saw that. I shared that on Facebook. She said, "White life, I mean all life," and like, we know what you meant.
Yeah. Even when people say all life, we know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And she'll try to, they try to clean up. Oh, I was reading a teleprompter and
yeah.
You know exactly what you were doing.
That's when Mitch McConnell said it a couple months ago about Black people are being counted as are going to vote as normal voters. And I'm like, wait, what? Right? You remember that a couple months ago? It's like,
I don't even want to talk about Mitch McConnell.
It's like
he's an example of why these people need to be forced into retirement.
Well, he's part of the reason why we are where we are, right? He's a very shrewd politician that has been able to manipulate things in such a way that benefits others. I think you made an interesting point too about it being states' rights and the importance of voting for your local government official and whatnot. The problem with that too is that you see it in Georgia, right, where they're repressing people's right to vote, right, or after the 2020 election, right. So many of these new laws repressing people's right to vote, right.
Which we've spoken about too, as well.
Mm-hmm.
So check the backlog.
Yeah,
for some of the stuff we're talking about, guys, because we've definitely covered the voting laws. We covered abortion laws, the history of abortion laws too. So definitely go back and check that out.
What's going to happen? Because again, not in the great position to talk a whole lot about this now, but next week, what I'm going to do is I'll have all of the references, even references to all of our past podcasts, right? Throw it in the little chat that you see here, and it will. You'll see the details of everything, right? Because right now we're just kind of spitting. I want to refer to actual news references as to kind of where we are, right? The fact that Republicans have picked more Supreme Court justices has placed more federal judges in place, right? We're in a system where you don't need the majority of the votes to win the White House, right? That's kind of where we are. So it's super frustrating. I will talk more about it in detail, maybe when I'm less pissed off next week.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad. I mean, this is sad.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, and I was reading an article about this, right? It's like, it kind of goes back to what I was saying, where they were saying initially, it's, 50 years of precedent. It won't, it's no way it's going to be overturned, and then they end up overturning it. So then you have, in one of the justices' opinions, they were saying that this has no bearing on contraception or same-sex marriage, but I feel like that's probably next, especially contraception.
You made this point, right? Okay, and let's look. If you want to stop abortion, you need contraception. That it makes logically, but these guys don't think about logic. But anyway. It's funny that you mentioned that, because it was also mentioned by Clarence Thomas that they're going to revisit. He wants to revisit other landmark cases like gay marriage and other cases. So you never know. He might take us all the way back, right? So
fam, even
and you talked about states' rights too, right? Just keep in mind, slavery was allowed by states' rights. So just saying.
I mean, at some point you have to have, even if you are against the federal government being in stuff, at some point there are certain things that just needs to be hey, they just need to step in. I mean, you can talk about states' rights all you want, but we're supposed to be one country, there are certain things that you're just gonna have to traffic laws and all that crap. Yeah, give it to the states or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
certain things are just, hey, legal, make it legal. Abortion.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like one state shouldn't be segregated while other state is segregated, right? Like we should also be desegregated, right? Ideally, right? So yeah, that's the really frustrating aspect of this, right? So I just, by the way, I just switched my camera around, but I was just noticing like my camera's all weird. But
so here's another angle too, right?
Yeah.
We talk about the separation of church and state, right? But it seems like a lot of the push for this anti-abortion movement is coming from like a Christian ideology.
Yeah,
like, I'm a good Christian. I believe in right to life, right? But
yeah, then don't get an abortion.
I don't like how. Yeah, I don't like how that seems to be one of the arguments for removing the right to abortion sometimes, right?
As someone who's grew up as Muslim, right? I've always hated the argument where, so I had my high school algebra teacher was trolling me on freaking Facebook. Freaking my teacher, grown ass man, right, who taught me in high school almost 20 years ago. I'm aging myself, but like was kind of trolling me a little bit on like, oh well, I don't need you guys to agree with me to be my friend or this or this or blah blah blah. And I'm like, bro, that's my life, right? That's like, like me fasting while others are eating, or kind of like my little belief system or whatnot has always been different from everyone else's. And I was able to accept that. It doesn't seem like you guys actually do that, right? This evangelical group of people. It's like everyone needs to kind of just believe what we believe. And what they don't care to understand is that this is the exact opposite of a free country, right? When you're forcing people to follow your religious beliefs, right? That's actually the opposite of religious freedom, right?
Yes, it is.
So it's super frustrating. I will have more details about it next week, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think this right now is just our time to give our opinion on it and just
well,
kind of talk about it, whatever.
My opinion is it sucks.
Later,
you guys suck.
Right?
You guys are trash for this.
But
that's my opinion.
this is just disappointing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then I mean,
leads to the other Supreme Court justice pick. And I haven't gotten to. I was talking to a former coworker, our boy Tony. Remember him? Shout out Tony from a old job, right? So I was kind of discussing with him on Instagram. I haven't had a chance to respond to him yet, but so Supreme Court justice. So there's what's almost 100-year law now, and I haven't read too much into this, that New York had where you can't carry concealed guns outside your home.
This is what I wanted to get into. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, what you go? You tell me. What are your thoughts?
I think this is what I have to use your excuse. I didn't get a chance to look it up.
Yeah, I need to do more due diligence on this though. But yes, but go ahead.
But essentially, what they're doing is they're basically making it easier for you to carry weapons out in the open, right? So it's just
we've had on the backdrop of so many shootings that we've had recently. We had
I was literally about to say the same thing.
Yeah, the school shooting in Texas, Black people shot up in Buffalo, New York, right? Hey, more guns, because
how does that even make sense?
That makes perfect sense. I mean, it only makes fake sense to like the gun manufacturers and people in the NRA that gets money from people who are, whenever you buy a gun and sign up with their organization, which by the way, the NRA is like not doing well financially the last couple of years.
Good.
But yeah, somehow they're still effing able to have this large sway and influence, but
yeah.
Oh boy, it's some fucking shit.
The Supreme Court overturned a century-old New York law that prohibited the concealed carrying of guns outside the home.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Then they had like, and the excuse normally is that, well, criminals, they don't follow the law anyway. Like, and my response to that is, yeah, so people break the law all the time, but you still need them because if they weren't in place, imagine if we didn't, so people drink and drive all the time, right? Imagine if we didn't have a law that says you shouldn't drink and drive, right?
Right.
And just
I mean,
think,
there would
well,
be
why
no
do we
fear.
have this law? Criminals would do it anyway, right? It's like, no, that's not the point of the
You
law.
might as well
right?
get ready. You might as well just enact the purge and be done with it, right?
Yeah, I know, right? These guys are like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a sense that they want to believe that it's the wild, wild west out here. And we're all gonna be carrying a 6-shooters. Like we gotta hope your daughters know how to shoot a gun because they have to walk to school with the gun just in case, a shooter decides to shoot up a school, right?
I mean, the defense, of
army
course, is
teachers
like,
and
oh,
everything.
well, if they have guns, I need a way to defend myself, so I need a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, if everybody starts carrying guns, then what happens when you start having a problem with one another? When we're just shooting each other, right?
Yeah. This
So
actually
I don't really
happened
see how this
actually happened at the mall, right? Tyson's Corner Mall in like Virginia, right? Someone got into an argument, pulled out a gun, cleared out the whole place, right? So that's kind of where we are with these kind of things. It's super frustrating, but what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Again, next
because if you have that now, like, I mean, now you talk about wanting to stop the criminals, but I mean,
yeah.
Now the one of the things that you could have gotten them in trouble for or arrested them for carrying a gun.
Yeah.
Now you can't.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Yeah. Now, I think the guy that I was kind of discussing this with online too, he made a point where he's not anti, gun control, but you have to think about when making these laws how effective they are, and that makes sense, right? Also, when you make a gun control law, they tend to affect people of color more than the other side, right?
Think about stop and frisk.
Oh
that
yeah,
that was literally just giving the cops the right to stop Black people whenever they wanted, right? Because that's exactly what they're going to focus on.
Yeah,
or any minority, right? That's exactly what they're going to focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely not my place to. I mean, we'll look into more this do our due diligence next week for this for sure. Hopefully next week we'll be streaming we'll add another stream to Instagram. So we'll be streaming there. So excited to do that. But yeah, that's kind of where we are. I want to spend a couple minutes at least discuss that.
Yeah,
but that's kind of where we are, man. And it's super frustrating and I hate it, but this is kind of where we are. All right, let's kind of get into something that we want to talk about more of, and that's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Again, I wish I spent so much time like kind of filling with my new computer. And I may give like the group like who are watching us, right, a little tour of my new rig. I'm a little proud of it. Stuff's a lot
nobody
of
cares
left in it. Fuck you.
Nobody cares.
I care. But let's talk Kenobi. Let's talk Kenobi from the Ultimate Star Wars
just
fan.
post the picture on the targeted Instagram and see like who cares. I bet you get like 2 likes. Your mom, your cousin.
In my like 3 likes. I like my own shit. Fuck it. Yeah. No, so okay. Kenobi happened, right? Thoughts from the Ultimate Star Wars fan?
Great
Star Wars guru?
Great episode. As a matter of fact, I feel like at least from my group of friends or whatever, it feels like everybody felt like this was a good episode. Even people who weren't really feeling the series were like, yo, this episode made it worth it. And I mean, I felt that way about episode 5 personally. I think episode 5 was That might be my favorite episode so far. Just the way the going back and forth between, Obi-Wan teaching Anakin and having and making him understand what his real flaw was.
Yeah.
And then coming back to the present. But this episode right here, man, that was a hell of a duel.
It was
a hell of a lightsaber duel, man.
I will say this, yeah, the Force lightsaber fighting was pretty cool, right? If anything, first let me say I like the episode. I did, right? I do think it kind of opens up a can of worms a little bit, in terms of the whole Star Wars canon. For example, Kenobi could have killed Vader, right? He could have killed him. Yeah. Right. It's the second time he could have killed him. The first time, okay, thought he was dead because he got burned to death or whatever. He survived.
I would have thought he was dead. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the first time, sure. The second time, you had him. You had him, and you just walked away, right?
But I hear you. But on the flip side, it was like that was like his brother, right? Yeah. Wouldn't it be hard for you to kill your brother?
Of course. I mean, you saw that in the episode 3, right? I mean,
episode 3. He got his ass kicked in episode 3. What are you talking about?
No. I'm talking about Star Wars episode 3, the movie.
Oh.
Was it I forgot the name of it. The Clone Wars, and then the Rise of the Sith or something. I don't know. What something like that.
But you know what though? One of the things though in Star Wars is if you so think about when Luke was fighting his dad. Mm-hmm. If he gave in to the dark side, and there are other examples of this at least in Star Wars Legends, which is better anyway, but I won't go there today.
It's not canon.
But basically, it's like if you do something out of hatred or anger, then that can lead you to the dark side, right? Which is where you don't want to go. Mm-hmm. So you think about when Luke was fighting his father, and the Emperor was trying to push him into just killing Darth Vader, right? To give in to the anger, because he knew once he did that, he would have him, right? And so I feel like this is an example where Obi-Wan had to do the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. He was losing initially, right? And he had to remember why he was fighting, right? And that kind of gave him the push that he needed to, come out of the rubble and go on and finish the duel and everything. But when he had the chance to actually do it, it's like, okay, why are you about to kill him now? Right? You're doing it like out of revenge. And I feel like there was more like it would be like an emotional killing. If he did that, then he felt like it might have led him to the dark side. He can't just kill somebody like that.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one, because sure, he was reluctant to fight him, right? When he got his ass kicked, right? He didn't want to fight him, right? And
neither. The man didn't have a connection to the Force.
Well, I mean, he had a bit of, his Force strength was weakened because he was just so out of it for such a long time, right?
Right.
And then Leia kind of helped bring it up again. By the way, another little opening, because in A New Hope, right, Leia doesn't really refer to this at all, but whatever. We're rewriting history, but it's all good.
What are you talking about?
No, think about it. In A New Hope, when she gives the message, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you are our only hope, right? In the message, she talks about, you served my father during the Clone Wars, right? But she never says, oh, you saved my life from, Inquisitors and shit, right? So, I mean, they're rewriting shit, but it's fine. But my thing with that though is that when he made this realization, right, where, look, I need to go away so Vader will come after me. I will sacrifice myself, right? That was kind of the superhero move right there, right? Sacrifice myself so you guys can like go away, right? And then he kind of said to himself, like, look, I don't know what's gonna happen, but this ends today, right? And I don't think would have been an anger killing if he killed him, right? It's a killing out of necessity, kind of like how when he did in Revis, right? He wasn't like pissed at him. He's like, we're at war, right? And you're
Well,
putting
I
these
mean, that
people
was
at risk.
different, but Grievous was, I mean, General Grievous was coming after him. That was, but
So was Vader. What are you talking about?
but Vader was because Vader was he could have won. Vader still could have won, right? I think if it had gone on.
Vader was trying, and Vader lost, which is
I
another thing
think
too,
he
which
was.
surprised me. Which surprised me a little bit too, because when he had him under that rubble and he turned around, I'm like, really? Like that's is that?
Well, he's cocky though.
Come
That's the
on,
thing
yeah,
about
that's
Vader
true.
slash
He is.
Anakin. That's what you've seen
Yeah, that's
established
true.
throughout the entire
That's true.
series.
I'll give you that. He is a little
Right?
cocky, right? Well, not a little cocky. He's very cocky. He's very reliant on his own power,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So which is fair.
But I'll give you
But
another example. I'll give you another example. There's a Star Wars Legends book. I might have to. I almost want to get up and go get it. But basically, in the Legends timeline, Ben Kenobi, not Ben Kenobi, Han Solo and Leia had a son. It wasn't Ben, whatever it was in this Disney stuff, but that kid becomes a Sith Lord named Darth Caedus, right? Caedus, and it was up to Luke and Ben to take him down. And there came a point in the story where Luke had to save Ben. Ben Skywalker is Luke's son in the Legends timeline. And during the fight between Darth Caedus and Luke Skywalker had the chance to end him, but he was like, I can't do it because if I do it, that's a path down the dark side. I can't be the one to do it. So it's just written like that. Like whether or not you agree, you know what I mean? But it's still it's certain things that like the way the Jedi
are you
think.
Saying are you saying a Jedi should never kill?
I'm not saying that. But it's like you kill out of.
You don't want to kill out of anger and hate. I get that, right? You don't want to
Right.
kill out of revenge because that leads you down the dark side, right?
Right.
So
anger,
that makes
hate,
sense.
Revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying makes sense too. It's again very. You're gonna love this. It's very similar to why Batman doesn't kill, right? Because if he does, then he goes down that path, right? I'll say the Jedi was a little bit different in the sense that they'll straight kill someone if they have to, right? You know, it's not like I've never seen a Jedi kill anybody before, right?
Sure.
I've seen how you guys go through those clones, right? I've seen Kenobi straight drowned in the series. A group of clones, right? Stormtroopers, right? So it's not like you can't kill. And I'm sorry.
Which is like you can't kill out of self-interest almost. That's what it seems
true,
like.
Which is true, but there was no self-interest. It was like him facing Vader was at a necessity, right?
Right.
For that, right? And you killing him would have been at his necessity, right? Now, maybe him staying, like if he kind of thought it through and saying, well, if I keep him alive and I stay alive, he'll just keep coming after me and not worry about everyone else. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, that's why he did it. I mean, that's it. He knows him.
That's
like he knew as soon as he took that ship, Vader was going to turn around and be like, "That's Kenobi right there. We're going after Kenobi, F everybody else."
Yeah,
right.
But at the same time,
you had the chance to take down the Jedi Underground Railroad, but instead,
you're
going to go get him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. So that's true, but wouldn't it also be the reason why you should kind of knock him out? Because what if he starts destroying or screwing more people over just to get to him? Like, keep in mind, Leia was kidnapped to get to Kenobi, right?
Yeah.
That was why she was kidnapped, to get to Kenobi. So it's a little bothersome a little bit. I wish it did.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing. That's the one thing. Like, I'm not saying I don't agree with what you're saying, because I kind of do, right? But I'm just I'm trying to play devil's advocate. On the initial watch, I'm like, dude, freaking kill him. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Right?
It was a good scene, though.
Stab that guy in the face.
It was a great scene. It was a great scene. And
you saw how he got like that scar and whatever later on. He, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi gave him that scar or whatever. Like, it's excellent episode. The other thing, Reva, I like how they wrapped her storyline, at least for this
Yeah.
season. Because she's pissed, right? She finds out
Yeah.
this dude had kids. Hey, fucking, I can't get you. I'm going to get your kids.
Justice or something, right?
You know what I
Now
mean? So,
that's not going down the dark path right there. That's what what you're saying earlier. That's perfectly when it comes to her, right?
yes, yes.
That's perfect, right? So she was never actually went down
She
that
was never
side.
actually a bad person. She was just, you know, she just pissed. She felt betrayed. Really, that's really the whole thing. She felt betrayed.
Yeah.
I like the appearance from Qui-Gon. So it was
Yeah.
as if facing Vader down, coming to terms with what happened,
Yeah.
and finding his connection to the Force again. Qui-Gon didn't realize, hey, okay, now you're ready for my training because he'd been.
Well, yeah, that's what he said. He said that I was always here, you just weren't ready to see me, right? And he goes,
Yeah.
here we have um all the new stuff. By the way, shout out to Milton. Milton's back on. He goes, did I miss y'all talking about how shitty Doctor Strange was?
What? Yeah, we're gonna put time on this episode right now to talk about Doctor Strange just for Milton, just for you,
Hey,
buddy.
I actually like Doctor Strange. I do also want to give a couple other shout outs too. So my friend Jeremiah, he stopped to say what's up. So shout out to you. I don't know if you're still watching. Annabella, so someone who I used to work with
Okay,
years
I see
ago.
your people finally coming out.
We've always been there, man. What are you talking about? She just put a like to the stream or whatever. So also want to shout out to Nagini for last week. She was watching. I wasn't like paying attention to that. But yeah, no, thanks you guys for out here supporting. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Please.
Please. Right.
By the
Click on
way,
the
that
links.
that reminds me too. Random
Mhm.
comment here, but I have to say it. YouTube has a thanks feature now. So if you'd like
Yeah.
to leave us a tip for our awesome content, feel free.
Absolutely. We should probably start up a Patreon. We're getting we're getting there too. Also totally random. Audio computer didn't freeze at all yet. Right.
You know what? Cheers to you, man, for making it through. Well, we haven't made it through the whole episode yet, but cheers to you for getting to this point without freezing. The Target
Thank
Podcast,
you.
no dead air.
Thank you. So let's go rogue a little bit and talk about Doctor Strange a little bit here.
Ask him. So Milton, why didn't you like Doctor Strange? Type it up.
Type it up, Milton. Why do you like Doctor Strange? You know what's funny? I actually watched Doctor Strange again earlier this weekend. I think I may have watched it. Was it yesterday or like today?
Yeah, I wanna watch it again. My friend was watching it.
I personally don't think it's as good as Doctor Strange #1, right? The first one, right?
I disagree.
I think the first one is really, really good. This one, it's not bad. It's not bad. The ending for me was a little for me was a little just like at the end where he was like Milner responded. The ending to me was like when he like showed like Wanda like her kids, right? And the kids were like, and then Wanda like did a 180, like right then and there. Right? It was like,
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
So do you remember at the very end of the movie, right? Like where Amelia Chavez was like, she got her confidence up and she was like, yeah, I'm gonna kick this witch's ass. And she started like punching. I actually like that scene, the little fight scene. Even though let's face it, you're going against Wanda, like you're not gonna beat her. But she did like open a portal to see her kids, right? And she went to her kids, right? And that's when she like met her alternate self and said, hey, you know they'll be loved, right? And they closed the portal, right? And Doctor Strange was like, hey, don't close on her yet, right? Just wait for it. and he knew that would turn Wanda, right, to do the right thing and destroy all this stuff. That's a bit of a stretch, right?
I mean, you get what you want. I mean, what else?
I mean, this is similar. You're gonna love this analogy. You're gonna love this analogy.
Oh my
this
God.
is very similar to, I'm about to say it. Why did you say that name? Why did you say that name?
Bro.
Oh
can you please let this go? They fumbled that. They definitely fumbled that with horrible writing. That could have been probably a much better. That could have been handled way better. Okay, but I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to let you on
that. Yeah. Come to the dark side, Nicholas, with me. Yeah. No. So our buddy emailed us like, should have been called Wanda featuring Doctor Strange. It's kind of true.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It's a lot of Wanda.
I mean, it should have just been called Doctor Strange v. Wanda, pretty much. Right?
Pretty much. That's kind of true. Or how about Wanda murking everybody and then turning around? Insane.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's see. Now, good Wanda's in prison for life for her actions. No, she's not, because she killed. Keep in mind, the people that would have thrown her in prison are all dead, right? They all know that she was dreamwalked, right? So yeah, she's not in prison. The good Wanda. I'm curious as to what they'll like do with her character in the future, because that's
the question.
Yeah, because one of the things with Wanda is that she's so powerful, right? You have to kind of like how Doctor Strange tricked Dormammu in the first Doctor Strange, which I thought was brilliant, right? You kind of have to kind of like trick her a little bit, right? She's unstable. You have to use that against her, right?
Yeah.
It kind of did, not really in this movie, but yeah. All in all, I thought it was a good movie. I like the first one better.
Again, like I said, man, I like this movie overall. I like this movie a little better. It's just the first movie for me, man. The first act, where how he ended up getting injured. It was like, fam, I know you're gonna almost die the way you're going right here. Like, who hops in their Lamborghini and goes like 100 miles an hour through New York City in a freaking thunderstorm, and then like hops on the phone and like texts like in the dash. Like, dude, yeah. I mean, it went a little
bit different from the actual original too, where like he dies because like I think in the Doctor Strange cartoon movie, they're like these kids that are like in this, it's like spirits or something, and he turns out the way to hitting him, and the same thing happens. This is just him in his own hubris, right? So and then
the way it was like they tried too hard to make him look like an asshole in the first act. It's like you could have been, you pushed a little too hard for me.
Well, maybe, but that showed him growth. That showed his growth, right? About not being about you. It's not being about you, right? And then I think in the other one, like actually starting to really like rely on others, right? But yeah, okay. So we took a little divergence, talked about Doctor Strange a little bit. Let's talk about Miss Marvel, right? And again, like usually I like watch my review sites and just take my notes, whatever. But kind of just winging it now. What are your thoughts on Miss Marvel? I'll give my thoughts. I wish we had our buddy Omar here. Try to get him on. He's like, I got things to do. Whatever. So that's my Omar impression. I got things to do. I'm busy.
Oh man, he's gonna roast you the next time. Omar, you, Omar, please. I hope and pray you watch this episode.
I got things to do.
No, so this is again, this is a series that is really surprising for me. Better than I thought it would be. I was not looking forward to this series.
Yeah.
But then again, I've got two little girls, right? And my 4-year-old is like really down for this show. She's good. Really into it.
Even though they're review bombing it online like crazy. Also, it's not doing as well in terms of they're not as many people watching this series as they have the other like Marvel series and stuff. Partially because of Kenobi too. But yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
with Kenobi being over, it'll get better. But still, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, but she is really down for the show, man. But and then all of a sudden, like my 2-year-old is like, we're trying to watch it. She's like, "Where's Miss Marvel? Where's Miss Marvel? Where's Miss Marvel?" I was like, "She's right there. Where's Miss Marvel?" It's like, you see the good. So, but she started getting into it too, right? So just being able to watch something like this with everybody has helped me enjoy the show a little bit more.
Yes.
I like seeing the different bits of culture,
Yes.
the Pakistani culture and the Muslim culture. I mean, I know nothing about it, so I think it's cool to.
I'll give you a little bit of
that.
And I wish Omar was here too, because he'll probably have even more details. So that wedding that you saw that was in is called.
Dude, that was crazy. I was like, what is this?
Yeah. So, and also between Pakistani, Bengali, Indian weddings, they have this super colorful type of arrangement or whatnot. And I wish like Omar said to give more.
I mean, that might be the most hype wedding I've ever seen. Like,
I mean, all the weddings are like that.
Hey.
Yeah. Good. You think weddings in America are ripoffs? Like you spend a shit ton of money on those weddings.
I mean, all those people, man.
Exactly, absolutely. But the wedding is called, and so me being a Nigerian Muslim, we call it a nikai, right? It's called the Islamic wedding, right? Normally, so my cousins who got married, right? They had 2 weddings. They had the nikai, which is the Islamic traditional wedding, right? Where you have your imam there, and they give you're normally supposed to agree on a dowry too, by the way. If like you were to separate from your wife, she gets like 40 chickens or some shit like that. That's normally what it used to be. By the way,
now it's 40,000, right?
yeah. No, actually, a Kenyan man offered to marry like Sasha Obama, and he said, "I have like 40 goats or something like that." I'm like, sure. Anyway, that was years ago.
Yeah.
But but it's called.
So here's a question. Here's a question I have for you specifically about the wedding. Okay. We noticed that when they were doing the vows, the lack of a better word, preacher. Okay, Iman. Okay.
Yeah.
He asked them 3 times. What's the significance of that? Look what Milton said.
I just said, what's the exchange rate on goats? That's a great question. I don't know. Hey, I'll say this. They're probably trading better than Bitcoin is right now. Shots fired on my Bitcoin.
But you know what though? Now's the time to buy it too.
Yeah. But
what's the significance of that with the 3 times?
I'm trying to remember my sister's Nikai, and I don't remember it was being asked 3 times. I just have to just make sure that you sure that you know what you're getting into, right? That's why it's 3 times. The Nikai that I've been a part of, that wasn't the case. Don't choke and die on me. The Nikai that I've been a part of, that hasn't been the case. So I thought that was actually an interesting touch. So I'll probably ask and do a little more research and ask and give you more details of that next week. This is why I wish Omar is here, because I think it's more of a Pakistani culture thing, possibly.
Okay. So that's fair.
Yeah. One thing I also thought was cool was that was it this episode or the last episode where like the DOD agents, they walked in the mosque with their shoes on, just shows the lack of like respect for that culture with them.
So disrespectful. And the imam was like, next time, I like how he tried to set them straight though.
Yeah. Well, the woman said the lady said her straight. Like, it was like, you don't have a warrant, you don't have
the young girl, yeah.
You don't have any of this crap, right? It reminds me of that Jay-Z song, where he's like, you're still 55 and the 50 for license registration.
Yeah.
Are you carrying a weapon on you? I know a lot of you are. Why is 7 shit? Oh, like I could do that whole. I'm not gonna rap in front of you here. It'll be embarrassing. But that was what that reminded me of.
So the other thing that I liked about the show, and I haven't read too many Miss Marvel comics.
Either.
But whether or not it's for TV or if it's the real part, I like how they're linking her to the Jinn, which is like, another word for genies.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty cool because that's a cool call to how she could be so powerful, right? Because
Also, so one of the things too is that we thought that the bracelet was giving her the power, right? But the bracelet's only like empowering her. It's only able to channel her power through the bracelet, right? I think the Jinn thing, it was so funny. She goes, I think I'm a Jinn. And the guy goes, in tonic? That was pretty funny.
That was good. That was real good.
And I was like, aren't you in high school? What the hell do you know about gin and tonics? Anyway, but it's so funny because it's also talking to a Muslim girl who's
right.
Drake. And I was like, just looked it up. Goats go around $75 to $200 a piece. So
he said he lowballed her. Well, I guess that's why she's still single, right?
No, she's not single. She's seeing a guy. They both are. I don't know who. I don't keep up with them, but yeah. So about to this, yeah. So it's a great way to bring the culture, right? Because the jinn is a big part of Islamic culture, right? One thing I thought was interesting that I noticed that. So I think we like with Omar on the call or on this last week, we talked about how the jinn was made out of fire while humans were made out of clay. And one guy kind of caught fire, but I don't think he was really affected of it that much.
Not
it
at
looks
all.
like, which I thought was pretty interesting. I thought the fight scene was pretty good, though I have to question, like, she just got her powers like yesterday. So how is she able to pull off like 4 seemingly immortal beings?
I mean, did she really hold them off? I mean, she was pretty much running the whole time and got lucky. I thought it was actually very well done.
Okay.
And then I felt like the scene in the kitchen was almost a callback to the original Jurassic Park. Remember when the
great scene.
Were hiding from the velociraptors?
You nailed it. I'm so happy you said that because I thought the same thing, and I forgot to mention it, but you nailed it. No, that was exactly what that scene reminded me of. So this is a lot of Jurassic Park vibe, especially the part where like the one of the black lady was like looking above and she was like right there.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, it's so good. That was
dope, man.
Great callback to that as well. Yeah, so go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I like the boy Bruno. I think that's my guy right there. I think that's
Brian.
He's become one of my favorite characters. It's still the way they're handling her powers is still like a little. It still throws me off a little bit because she'll throw like a blob of like nothing at a door or whatever. It's like she's shooting spider webs now or like what is it? It's still green. Well, it's still Green Lantern. It still reminds me of Green Lantern.
It's very Green Lantern. Very Green Lantern. I think Green Lantern has to maintain some sort of connection to it though, right? Which I don't think she does. You can just shoot out something like that's freestanding. You kind of see what I'm saying? Like when she like closed the door, like she didn't have to like hold her like wrist there and like keep it there or whatever. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
she had to throw it though. She threw it at the door.
But yeah.
So
outside of that though, I mean, yeah, I think it's a pretty solid series, man. I gotta hand it to it. I like what they've done from a culture standpoint. This is actually right after freaking Moon Knight too, where they also also saw a lot about that Egyptian culture. Now you're kind of seeing this here as well. It looks like they're going to be headed to Karachi soon. So we'll see how that works in Pakistan. So yeah, no, I'm excited to see what's next. I'm so happy to see like your daughters are in the series. I wish my niece got to see this series because my niece is a huge fan of Captain Marvel.
Okay.
And I kind of wish she was more of a fan of like the Dora Milaje. Not to say
Right.
that I'm anti
Not
her
her.
being a fan of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I kind of need you guys to bring Storm in this MCU really quickly so we can have.
Please, well, you know what? Now I almost don't even want them to because they're not going to recast Black Panther. So I mean, I don't want to.
That's true. Yeah, I would.
Unless they do the thing where you know, in that continuity, Storm is gay and she has a relationship with Letitia Wright's character who becomes Black Panther. I can see that happening. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
I hope they don't do that. I do want to joke. I do want to joke with Letitia Wright a little bit. So Letitia Wright's supposed to be her character's supposed to be one of the smartest people in the MCU, right?
Yeah. Hey.
At least top 3. But the actress herself doesn't believe in vaccines. She's an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah. I want to go there. I'm curious. I'm hoping they bring in what's her name, Ironheart. Might as well.
They will.
I need that Ironheart replacement.
She will be in the next in Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
So by what? Just like how Ms. Marvel, will be, or Kamala Khan will be in the Marvels, which is going to happen next year, right? It makes me wonder, do you think that we'll see Captain Marvel or Carol Danvers in this series? I wonder. Kind of like making a cameo, like how
you're making a cameo, like a Qui-Gon Jinn style.
Yeah, kind of like Qui-Gon Jinn. Yeah. Or is it going to be like the end of WandaVision where a Skrull is going to be in and be like, "Hey, ready to come up to wherever?" So
yeah,
makes me wonder about that too. So, well, I'm interested to see exactly kind of what's next, right? For the series. I'm really happy they're doing it. Diversity, like if I have to pick a hill that I die on, it'll have to be environment issues and diversity, right? Probably divide the environment first, because if you don't have an Earth, then there's nothing. If we're not alive, then there's nothing really to fight for. But diversity is another big one for me, just because it's so important to have, right?
Yes.
To have a diverse set of views. That's kind of why we're missing Omar in this one. This is perfect for him. I was like, this is your moment. This is why you're here. I'm about to get another brown guy to join us.
You can't come out and say I'm for diversity and then be like, we need to get another brown guy.
Obviously that's a joke, but that's actually that's how companies do it, right?
I'm just saying, man.
That's how companies do it, right? Hey, we're about to end. It's about to be the end of Pride Month, so company's gonna be like, okay, screw you guys, back to making money. So, yeah, yeah. Well, cool, man. Got anything else you want to discuss? I think we did a pretty good job on time today.
Yeah, I think we covered. Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's 10:01.
10:01. 10 on time.
And I feel like we actually covered like a lot of what we wanted to cover, right?
Yeah, no, we did. We talked what we wanted to talk about. No computer freezing at all. So excited about that. Maybe next week I will show you guys like my new desktop rig. I need to actually buy a new desk, right? I'll tell you the problem I'm kind of going through right now. So I'm looking for a new desk, right? Right now my desk has two 27-inch monitors on it, and it has like my work laptop and like my personal laptop, and it kind of bleeds off a little bit on the side, right? Like there's like a couple inches like it bleeds over my desk a little bit. So I want a larger desk, right?
You sound like my
Um,
situation. I want a larger desk. I have a
yeah,
27 and a 24,
yeah.
and I have to
So
spread them out enough so I can have my iPad in the middle.
yeah, actually, well, I mean, I'll show you guys next week. I won't do it now, but like like I have the so I'm looking up some new and it's this is a standing desk, but I want like an electronic standing desk because it's kind of a pain in the ass to kind of like crank it up and down. And if it's something that's a little bit more automated, then it'll force me to stand up more. The
Yeah.
problem though is that like if I got a desk about like 72 inches long, right? Um, it would fit everything very easily. It'll fit my new desktop, it'll fit like my laptop, everything will be perfect. The problem though is that the wall that it's against is only 71 inches long, right? So it will bleed over into like the hallway by like an inch. It just wouldn't look aesthetically pleasing. So I'm wondering if I
So
should
I'll say
do,
this: as
yeah.
someone who just finished moving,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you should probably just wait until you move. Make it easy on
Probably,
yourself. That way, when you move, you can just throw that desk away, sell it.
probably.
I'm just saying.
That's true. That's true. But with the way the housing market is or the economy is, I'm not sure I'll be moving anytime soon.
Also fair.
But no, that's a good point.
Get
I
an
may be
L-shaped desk. Your man
so
Milton
that's
is coming at you with some real stuff, man. Get an
yeah.
L-shaped
So
desk,
an
bro.
L-shaped desk is good, but I don't know how well it'll fit in my little dorm room apartment here. That I think was like to make fun of all the time. Um, like there's not a lot. I have to be really smart with like my space because my apartment is very weirdly shaped, more like a triangle, not like boxes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I have to kind of just be smart about it. Yeah, the 72 or 71 inch desk will just solve all of these problems, but it'll just kind of bleed out there. I might just make it a 60-inch desk, right? I did like the tape measurements, and to fit everything like almost perfectly, I'll need like 68 inches, right?
Gotcha.
Um, and this is like only 60. So I'll probably play around with some more and kind of figure something out.
Yeah.
But that's kind of
Oh,
where I am with that.
I want to go back and make sure that no one misconstrues what I was saying earlier about Storm. So I don't
Oh,
mind there being I don't have a problem with there being gay characters in any media or whatever. I just don't like it when they make characters a certain way just because,
yeah.
right?
When it's
I
forced,
want if there's
when
a
it's
if
really
there's a new
forced.
character if there's a character if the character you deserve to have like an original character come in and be
Yeah,
who they are to represent whatever. Like the character should be original, make them great. Don't
yeah,
just change a character just to force some agenda or just so you can check that box like we were saying
yeah,
earlier in an
yeah,
earlier
yeah.
episode, right?
We've talked about this multiple times, right? There's you doing right by the character, right? Or by like so for example, I talked about this in like my review of Young Justice a little bit, where um some of it made sense. Like I was talking about Atlantis, how Atlantis is more progressive and they have
Mhm.
like polyamorous like relationships and whatnot, and that's kind of a thing, and that's fine. But there's another case where it was just so forced with
With a
uh
Halo.
Halo, right? Where like just all of a sudden it was like, oh, I think I'm gonna be non-binary and I'm gonna investigate Islam and oh, and I'm going out with this girl now. And I'm like, you're throwing a lot really, really quickly. I'm pretty sure when someone comes up to that, makes that decision, right?
Yeah,
Like I don't think it's just simply as, oh, I'm this. Though her
yeah,
decision makes sense, it does make sense, right?
right, because she
Because
was she was a mother box before or something,
she's
or
a mother box,
yeah,
right? She was a mother box, right? So it makes perfect sense, right? That she doesn't adhere to gender
yeah,
norms of Earth, but it just seemed just really just rushed. Like it
yeah,
gave like no real indication of this in any previous iteration, right? Um, so yeah, just little things like that. There is a way you can do it and do it right, right?
yeah.
Um, where it makes sense.
This is why I
So
was a fan of. That's why I was saying I was a fan of them bringing Renee Montoya into the DC universe because,
yeah.
yeah, she's and Batwoman too. But Renee Montoya, yeah, she's a gay character. She's also
Mm-hmm.
one of the best detectives. She
Mm-hmm.
becomes the Question. One of her antagonists was Clayface. I mean, there was a lot they could have
Oh yeah.
done with her,
It's so
and they
yeah.
had her
It's
in
so
Birds of Prey. But
they had
I
on
thought
Birds
that
of
movie was
Prey.
okay.
Yeah, it's unfortunate with DC because DC. Oh, we didn't talk about this either because I think we talked a little about Amber Heard and a little bit about Isra, whatever his name. But like it looks like they're getting rid of a lot of like Amber Heard is probably not going to be in the next Aquaman, right? Like they're getting rid of a
They
lot of her
edit her out.
scenes. Yeah, which is crazy because I mean I think they should try to replace her with Emily Clark or something like that, right? The
Amira
problem
is
is it's going to
a
cost.
major figure in Aquaman's
She
history.
is a
So I
major
mean,
figure, so you can't just get rid of her, right? But it's going to cost them a shit ton of money to do so. So same thing with like,
if they can make an entire movie with Sonic the Hedgehog and then redesign him throughout and add that to the movie, anything is
I,
possible.
I actually watched Sonic the Hedgehog, uh, the first
Good, wasn't
one.
it?
Yeah, the first one. I didn't watch the
This-
second one yet.
The second one is
Uh,
good too, man.
I I heard it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
It's low key, like
Yeah,
because I have kids now. Obviously, I pay more attention to this stuff. But
yeah. No,
uh,
it's good.
our first movie date, me and my oldest
Yeah,
daughter's first movie date was Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and she was like killing that popcorn and
hmm
watching the hell out of that movie. She loved it.
I'm
So,
so happy that they redesigned the character too because that was trash.
so, and here's
So
another
bad.
thing too that I thought was funny.
Mm.
That design was like horrible, right?
Oh God,
So
tell me about it.
they on Disney Plus, there's a new Chippendale movie, Chippendale Rescue Rangers movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the movie they have like a bunch of characters from popular media or whatever. Ugly Sonic makes a cameo in that movie. Hilarious. It was
Oh, is it?
hilarious.
What is it? What do they say?
I I mean, I
Oh,
watched it like a few weeks ago. I have no idea,
okay.
but just the
Yeah,
fact that I saw him in there and like laughing and like just hamming it up, I was like, there, that was
it's so
hilarious.
funny. Yeah. No, so yeah, I'll probably watch the second Sonic movie. For sure. Like maybe when it comes to like one of the streaming services and whatnot. But yeah, no, I'm actually happy that it was good. So yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I'm excited to show you like this new desk. That's I think I shared it on like on our chat. Like I couldn't get the Bluetooth to work like at all for some reason. Like, and dude, let me effing tell you, I spent like I was supposed to go to the gym today and I just missed it because I was just up till like 3 o'clock last night. When you called me today, I was still in bed, right?
Oh wow. Because I had texted
Like
you. I was like,
yeah,
dude,
you
why is this
texted
guy not
me.
answering?
Yeah, you texted me like 2 hours earlier, and then you called me, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, I got you. But I was like, I was still like, I was just barely like awake. That's because I
Yeah.
was up to like almost like 4 o'clock trying to fix this Bluetooth, and then I spent more time on it today, and I was like, and I just read on the poster where just put in the antenna, put in the Wi-Fi antenna, and it'll work fine. And it's like literally like night and day. Like
Wow.
and I kind of want to, I have some gripes now because why do I need the Wi-Fi antenna for my Bluetooth to work properly?
I was about to say,
That
like, it
makes no
doesn't make
sense. They're
sense.
two different bands, right? It's not specified anywhere. You guys should document that. Like, it's not. I read like the manual so many times, and then it wasn't until like I saw it on freaking some thread. It's like, yeah, just put in the Wi-Fi. I mean, put in the antenna and it works fine. And I'm like, and it's literally like put in the antenna and it's like literally night and fucking day. Like, it's like clear. So all right, cool. Well, I think we're a little bit over. We're kind of just shooting the shit at the end, but good stuff. Next week we'll talk more Miss Marvel. We'll get a little bit more into it with some of these Supreme Court decisions that's been made. Um, so a little bit more political next week. Then we'll get into Miss Marvel. And then whatever happens, like we'll cover that too. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Actually, shit, hold the phone. I think next week, I think we just discussed this too. Next week is when Thor comes out. So
Yeah.
actually, no. False, false. Next weekend is the second, it's the third, and Thor comes out on, so it's in 2 weeks.
So I gotta go. I guess I'll give a review on Jurassic World. Is it Jurassic World? Jurassic, whatever it is, next week.
Oh,
We want to see
latest.
that.
Oh, good. Well, let me know how that goes. I'm not
Combination.
going to see it, nor do I care.
So this is
I
what
watch.
pisses me off, real quick.
Go for it.
2 minutes.
Preach, preach.
So the first Jurassic Park movie was classic, right? Jurassic Park original classic. Lost World, not as good, but still watchable. 3, horrible. Okay. Then you come to the next round of movies. That first one, you have to forgive me because I forget what the exact title was.
It was called Jurassic World.
Okay, just Jurassic. Okay, I'm messing it. Okay,
it's
Jurassic World. And then the next one, where they bring the dinosaurs back to that one facility or whatever. This is the movie I want to talk about because the franchise should be over, people. Okay, they bring the dinosaurs back. Everybody's talking about how it's a mistake, and you talk about whether or not it's a mistake, and then you talk about the capitalists trying to start another park and all this other stuff. They had the chance to destroy them all in that movie. And for whatever reason, because they don't want to hurt the animals or whatever, like, no, let them go. And I'm in the movie, it's like, dude, your problems could be over. But obviously we're making another movie, which is this movie. And obviously the dinosaurs are now a freaking problem now, right? Because we all let them all out of the fucking facility when you could have just blown the whole thing up and killed them all. But because we don't want to hurt any animals, and it's
kind of like Obi-Wan a little bit, not murking.
Well, I'm not a Jedi, right? So I can care about light and dark side stuff. I'm not a Jedi.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Kill all the animals, all the dinosaurs, and be done with it. But now we have this movie, which is totally unnecessary, but just a cash grab. And I'm going to give them some of my money because my wife wants to go see it.
People just love the dinosaurs. People love dinosaurs. I will say this. One of the things about Steven Spielberg and his movies, right? A lot of his movies, and I need to it's been such a long time since I watched Jaws. I'm not even sure if I don't even remember it at all. I can't even say I watched it, so I'll have to rewatch that one. But the thing with Steven Spielberg and his movies is that they pose these sort of questions, right, about society and humanity and responsibility, right? In the first Jurassic Park, I just rewatched it like a couple days ago. So it's again, great movie. And the thing about that movie is that it still stands the test of the time till this day. It's a timeless movie. It's still relevant now, right? And he kind of posed the questions of humanity, right? Of who are we to try to be creators, right? I think part of the movie, so the Jeff Goldblum character in Malcolm,
my favorite character.
Yeah, great character, right? Poses the question about so when the owner of the park was like, our scientists have done so many amazing things, and he goes, well, they've done these amazing things, they never stop to say whether they should, right? But should they be doing this, right?
Yes.
Right. So it asks those kind of questions, right? Same thing with Ready Player One, right? Which there's this platform. Think of the Oasis, this platform. I think it's Twitter in this world, right?
Metaverse,
yeah, or the metaverse, where people are sleeping and abusing it, and there's another company where that kind of wants to take over it, and the creator kind of just wants people just to be whatever, right? Just be a thing, and he's like, yeah, but these people are actually falling asleep and doing these things in this thing that you created. Maybe you should provide some regulations there, right? And to make sure it doesn't destroy society. And he just didn't want to have any part of it, right? This is very reminiscent of Elon Musk trying to take over Twitter, right? We'll get into, actually, that's going to be
I think we're going to talk about that next week.
Yeah, We're gonna talk about it next week too. We're gonna talk about Elon Musk and how he's a dick.
Nice.
And
Lost
that
his
guy.
marbles, man.
Yeah. He probably didn't have marbles. I'll mention this next week again. His daughter is like changing her name to get away to not be affiliated with with him, right? Mind you, I think she's doing like a sex change too. I'm not sure about that, but like, how crazy is it that your dad's the richest guy in the world and you want nothing to do with him, like at all? How much of a dick do you have to be, right? We'll talk more about that next week.
Episode 67.
Yeah. Little preview here. I mean, we had a good bit. We're a little bit over, but like I think we're good for like 10 or 1 or whatever. But yeah. No, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting us. Thank you for all the likes and comments. Really appreciate it. Shout out to all you guys. Again, feel free to like us on YouTube, follow us on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. I posted a link, right? So on Anchor, we're on all those platforms, right? So feel free to keep following us and supporting us, and we're gonna keep expanding, right? Eventually I'm gonna get rid of the stupid Zoom logo and on our live streams and shit. And yeah, it's good. We're making progress. Got this computer.
Yes, sir. Keep building it out.
Yeah, we're keeping on moving.
Taking all right, cool. Over the world.
Yes, one podcast at a time. All right, cool. Thank you guys so much. See you guys.